Direct, hi. This is a pirate adventure game on Xbox or Windows, and you go around, collect treasure, and
Seven nanometers. Can you visualize how small that is? Let's try. A strand of human hair is about 100 micrometers thick, and that's about 14,000 times wider than 7 nanometers. In fact, with this scale, we could measure the thickness of a single DNA strand, clocking in at around 2.5 nanometers. Some of the smallest effective transistors we've ever created were just a single phosphorus atom across. That leaves out the silicon aspect of it, but still. And that's about 0.2 nanometers in diameter. So much for the end of Moore's law. So we are literally fabricating processors on the same scale as us, as human beings. And here's why it is so important. Now, just to clarify, 7 nanometers does not describe the size of the transistor in a CPU. We discuss this in more detail right here. The length actually describes the precision of the fabrication, how detailed you can get. Think about it like, I don't know, the size of a pixel. Smaller pixels take up less real estate on a screen, meaning you can pack more of them into the same amount of space. The result is a higher degree of detail, more information per frame basically, and that's why fabs like TSMC, Global Foundries, and Micron use this notation. Perhaps above all else, the node shrinkage signifies a bump in efficiency, and that's what we'll discuss first. So, in short, 7 nanometer processors are extremely efficient. Surprise, surprise. Apple was the first to push a 7 nanometer processor to market, dubbed the A12 Bionic. You might have heard of this before. The iPhone XS boasts nearly 7 billion transistors in an 83 square millimeter surface area. That is smaller than my pinky nail. Just, yeah, visualize that. By contrast, the Xbox One X sports a similar number, 7 billion or so, in a package significantly larger, roughly 360 square millimeters. This is because the Xbox utilizes a 16 nanometer fab, so the node shrinkage alone allows us to cram similar amounts of compute power into much smaller packages. That is obviously one pro. Another trait of a smaller transistor is its lower capacitance, defined simply as the amount of electrical energy a component can store. Now, in the case of CPUs, transistors act as switches and require threshold voltages to both open and close. Smaller transistors inherently have lower threshold voltages since the gaps between sources and sinks are smaller, right? They're smaller transistors, and the energy to function effectively is thus lowered by a significant amount. A byproduct of this is frequency, meaning the gates themselves can open and close faster if less energy is required to build up in the process. So overall, this increase in precision allows these processors to save power and operate faster, which is a win-win for the consumer. There are drawbacks, including leakage, which has been a concern for the past 5 or 6 years, but we're constantly coming up with innovative ways to solve that problem. Another benefit of smaller, more precise CPU architecture is space, obviously. Remember Remember that A12 Bionic chip we just talked about? Its die covers less than a square centimeter of area, meaning Apple had plenty of additional space to work with. It means a bigger battery, it means more RAM, it means a larger GPU, more cache. It really just depends on what the manufacturer deems necessary. NVIDIA, for example, took the opportunity with its 12nm process to cram additional compute, tensor, and RT cores into that massive TU102 die in the cases of both the 2080 Ti and Titan RTX. Can we just call that like the Titan R? Of course, there are thermal limitations associated with any electrical work done, but assuming you've got a beefy enough cooling system, the benefits of a smaller architecture in this case are limitless and allows companies like NVIDIA to experiment with innovative ideas and new ways of solving complex problems. But with the 7nm fabrication comes its financial and technological challenges, another reason why their entrance into the market is such a big deal. Production costs scale rather exponentially with no shrinkage. That's just relying on historical context there. And foundries like TSMC, currently supplying Apple, Qualcomm, and NVIDIA among others, are feeling the strain. Higher degrees of precision mean more mistakes, to put it lightly. This is one of the reasons why I expect the lower tier Zen 2 chips, in the case of AMD, to be extremely affordable. If the yields per core are lower, and we expect 2 CCXs per die, and maybe up to 4 CCXs in total, then Zen 2 4-core CPUs should be an ample supply by default. This is why prices for higher core count chips don't scale on a price per core basis in a linear fashion. If the yields for an 8-core variant are 40%, let's say, and the yields for a 4-core variant are 80%, then the 8-core chip should cost well over twice the price on the consumer side, since these failure rates cut into AMD's own margins. Intel, mind you, is dealing with a very similar failure rate with their in-house fabs, which is a reason why we keep seeing 14nm refreshes from them. Not the only reason, but it's a big one. So I hope this short little video at least shed a little bit of light into some of the reasons why the 7nm leap is, first of all, so difficult and so important in the industry. I expect the year 2020 will be a sweet time for PC gamers and enthusiasts, and it'll be a great time to finally just appreciate competition in the space. I think we need more entrants, but I'll take whatever I can get at this point. What do you guys think? I know this was a short little video. I could have gone into more detail, but just the whole 7nm conversation is good because we're looking forward to a lot. If you like the video, you know what to do. Dislike it without feeling or take it without life. You can click that red subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll catch you in the next one. This is Science Studio. Thanks for learning.
Watch out, sniper! Throwing fire! Sniper!
Здорово! Подберите бомбу.
Grenade! I'm throwing a flashbang. Throwing a flashbang. Let's call my brother. Decoy. I'm throwing a grenade. Grenade out. Flashbang. Throwing a flashbang. Throwing smoke. Flashbang. I'm throwing a flashbang. Guard. Activating the bomb. Bomb has been planted. Counter-terrorists win. Let's go. Decoy's out. Throw the decoy. Grenade. I'm throwing a flashbang. Smoke. Throwing a flashbang. Molotov.
We have two Titan RTXs, and today we're doing a shot here in the test lab because one of them is not working. It's stuck at 1350 megahertz. You might remember this issue. That would be that one right there. Might remember this issue from when we got some user cards and some cards from you all, and one of the EVGA cards was stuck at 1350 megahertz. That was a 2080 Ti. This is a Titan RTX. So quite a bit different in terms of the issue. It's about 2 times the difference in price. And this is something we are now actively working with NVIDIA. They actually have a local office to us with an FAE there, and they're sending someone out to swap cards with us. So we're planning to give them this card because it is stuck at 1350 megahertz. For perspective, it should be over 1900 megahertz. And they're going to give us a different one. That way we can get back to testing. So we have this card has gone through all the game tests. That one we stress a lot. A bit of a hold on things. But today I'm going to demonstrate how that is stuck at 1350 and what exactly we're going through. Before that, this video is brought to you by us and the Gamers Nexus store. You can go to store.gamersnexus.net to pick up one of our ceramic mugs, critically acclaimed mod mats, or educational video card teardown and PCB anatomy posters that teach the names and placements of all the key PCB components. Learn more at store.gamersnexus.net or click the link below. Here's the issue. Here's the recap. Originally, with the EVGA 2080 Ti that we had from a viewer that was stuck at 1350 megahertz, it raised some alarm bells at NVIDIA, which is a good thing. But this was the only instance that they knew of that a card was stuck at 1350. Same for EVGA. And so the problem is we were able to fix it. And that's a problem because then it's hard to diagnose it because it's been fixed. So we fixed it we tried flashing it once with the original BIOS that was on there and didn't do anything. It was still stuck at 1350. And the power target was showing 0, which is something another. Other symptom we're seeing here, so we zoom in on the screen, you'll see a 0% right there. And that's the same exact thing we saw on the EVGA card. So to fix this, we just reflashed it, and we flashed it twice. The first flash was with the original BIOS, did not fix anything. The second flash was with a slightly altered VBIOS, but there are no significant changes that we knew of, if any changes at all. And that fixed it. So problem solved. We sent it back to EVGA anyway on behalf of the user. And I mean, you can't really do anything with it because now it's fixed. Just for BIOS versions, if you're curious, this messed up card is
Let's go, let's go! Smoke! Throw in smoke! Smoke! Grenade!
90.02, 0.23, 0.00, 0.01, and I saved previously the VBIOS from this card and the other one, and on the original ROM for the good Titan, it's 90.02, 23.0001, which is the same exact ID, and if you do a comparison of the two binaries, they're the same. And if we open up NV Flash, we can also, if you've never done this, you can download it on Tech Power Up or a similar site. NV Flash 64 is what you want. You just do like -- protect off, and that will disable the write protection. And then you can do a save, name the BIOS.ROM, and that exports it, which is what we've done there. Now, if we wanted to load the good BIOS, what we do is -- I'm not going to type the rest because I don't want to accidentally hit enter and then mess up NVIDIA's ability to troubleshoot this. And then you type
We must move! Smoke! Throwing fire! planted. Bomb has been planted. Terrorists win.
The good BIOS name and flash it, and that would be the end of that. So we do think this is probably still an uncommon issue, but if you did run into it and you don't want to go through the RMA process, this tool, NV Flash, is how you would probably fix it. You could potentially just export your own BIOS from the card. So NV Flash 64.exe -- you do protect off, and then the next thing you would do is save and give it like original bios.rom. We can show how that works actually. And then after that,
go, go, go! Decoy! Let's throw the flashbang. Let's throw the grenade! Grenade out!
you would do the --6, like the number 6, and target the ROM, and then that would write it to the card, write it back to it. You have to reboot in between, and then it should probably fix it for you. But we're not going to do that today. So we want to help try and diagnose this issue at this point. Even though I really want to do SLI testing now, and I know I can flash that with the VBIOS from the one behind me, or even probably just reflash it with its own and fix it. Because when we
Together we can do this. Throw in smoke. The guy's out. Flashbang.
extracted the VBIOS from both of these cards, the binaries are the same. It's the same VBIOS. So there's really no reason it should be messed up. But I'm 99% confident it's a VBIOS issue and flashing it will fix it. So anyway, I'll show you what's going on. What's happening is, yes, the card is stuck at 1350 megahertz, but some key identifiers to what a potential problem might be.
Guys, I tell you, we kill them all. Decoy. Let's throw the grenade. Throw the decoy.
Would be to look at the readouts for hardware monitor or through GPU-Z, and we've shown these in the past, in GPU-Z especially, where you've got a perf cap reason, performance cap reason. This is something we've used for overclocking. You'll see it's displaying idle right now. And ideally under a load like Firestrike Ultra in the background, it should be showing something like maybe power, PWR, or thermal, which would be THM, and this is neither of those. Another common one is VREL for voltage limits. So those are kind of the limits you hit typically, and you will hit a limit by design. You'll hit something. It's just a matter of which one. Idle should not be where we're sitting because it's not. So there's a problem. And 1350 megahertz also just happens to be the base clock of the card. And by coincidence, the 2080 Ti was also stuck at 1350, which makes me kind of curious about what's going on there because that wasn't its base clock. So it might just be coincidence. But other than that, we can look at a lack of settings here. So GPU-Z typically for this card, on the other one we have that works, it will have a readout for the current power, the power consumption. And
Let's go! The guy's out. Darn. Go, go, go! Grenade! Flashbang! Decoy! Grenade out!
and that should be like 280 watts plus under stock conditions. So we don't even have that. It's not appearing, which means something's wrong. Another thing that's not appearing, under hardware monitor on Precision X1, with this red number 1, we should have another option above GPU clock that says total power or something to that effect, and that is not appearing. So we've enabled the other ones though. We have power limit, voltage limit, temp limit, no load limit, and GPU usage all enabled. And if we scroll through all of this stuff, you'll see GPU clock 1350. Memory clock's actually functioning because GPU-Z shows 1750.2 megahertz. Then you multiply it out, and that gives you the correct clock number. So that the memory's fine. GPU temperature's at 63, which is fine. Power limit, this is a binary, so it's either 0 or 1. And we are not hitting a power limit, so it's showing 0. Voltage limit, binary, it's showing 0, no limit currently. Temp limit, 0. No load limit is showing 1. So we are at no load limit, which just means it's not really being treated like it's under load. It's not being treated like it's doing anything. GPU usage is still showing about 100% though. And then memory usage not really relevant, but it is showing about 2 gigabytes, but it doesn't really matter. And then frame rate, I don't know how perfectly accurate this is, but it is consistent with the frame rate number we're getting in Firestrike right now that you probably can't even read. It's too blurry, but it's about 33. So it is actually putting out frames, clearly. Just thrown everything else in terms of the core clock. There's also this really cool bug. So other than the power being 0 right now, if we change the fan speeds, I've had issues here. I don't know if it's going to repro right now. Yes.
Go, go, go! Grenade out. Decoys out. Defusing the bomb. Get back! Get back! Defusing.
Круто, мы не купили диффузы.
Go, go, go! Throwing a grenade. Counter-terrorists win. Let's go, people! Throwing smoke. Counter-terrorists win. Let's go. Laying down smoke. Incendiary. Grenade out. Flashbang. Throwing smoke. Bomb has been planted. Terrorists win. Let's go. Decoys out. Let's go, people. Deploying decoy. Grenade out. Throwing flashbang. Incendiary out. Go, go, go! Decoys out. Flashbang. Deploying flashbang. Grenade out. Throwing flashbang. Let's roll. Staying here. Let's roll. That's the way we do it.
To B to A, to 3B to A.
Oh yeah! Nice!
I go to B.
Let's go. There you go. Decoy.
Misprognete.
C'est qui le taulier? There you go. Grab your gear and let's go. Throwing smoke. Bomb has been planted. Terrorists win. Nice. Roger that. I'll take point. Let's go. Counter-terrorists win. Lock and load. Incendiary. Flashbang. Laying down smoke. Flashbang. Smoke. Throwing flashbang. Has been planted. Hold this position. Go, go, go! Flashbang. Bomb has been planted. Terrorists win. Lock and load.
It did do that. Change the fan speed. The fan speed did not go up. You'd probably hear it on my mic if it did. And what we're getting is everything slowing to a crawl. So it's still rendering one frame. So we're at about probably fractions of a frame per second right now. We're maybe at about 0.25 frames per second. So this is clearly a bug. It should be increasing the fan speed. Not sure what's causing that. The last thing to show here is we have thermocouples hooked up to this. So we have a teardown that'll go live after this video goes live. And we did the teardown to stick thermocouples on here to try and diagnose things like we did with the
Let's go! Counter-terrorists win. Nice! Move it, move it! Fire in the hole! Terrorists win. Let's go. Throwing flashbang. Throwing a grenade. Counter-terrorists win. Go, go, go! Eco is out. Deploying flashbang.
Series 2080 Ti. So just like with the 2080 Ti, the thermals are completely within reason. They're well within spec. And even when Firestrike is running at 36 FPS or whatever it was, Firestrike Ultra. So 53 degrees Celsius, that is for the memory, VRAM, and that's for the hottest memory module. 52.5 degrees for the hottest MOSFET that we could pinpoint. Both of those are way within spec. Memory is under 90, 95, that's fine. The MOSFET's under 125, 150 by a lot, so that's fine. And then ambient is 23 just for reference. So yeah, took it apart to stick thermocouples on it just to confirm, just like with the 20 series cards that you all were having problems with. For the 2080 Ti's that everyone sent in, one of the things we looked at was, is it thermal? Is it some component that's not reported in GPU-Z like MOSFET memory? The answer was no. And so we redid that test here, stock thermocouples on MOSFET and memory, and the answer is again no, it is not thermal. So
We are the best. We will stop your little scout. Let's go, let's go. Activating the bomb. Bomb has been planted. Grenade out. Smoke. We are going to win. Got this area. Yes! This is our fight. Decoy. I'm throwing a flashbang. Terrorists win. before you die. Forward! I'm planting the bomb. Bomb has been planted. Grenade out! Terrorists win. Now is the time. Darn.
Look out.
Terrorists win.
Nice.
Activating the bomb. Let's go, my brother. Let's throw a grenade. Grenade out. Flashbang. Fog. I'm planting. Bomb has been planted. I'm throwing a flashbang. Throwing a flashbang. Grenade. Come on, let's go. We have our revenge. The bomb is sticking down.
tearing it down, unfortunately, and putting thermocouples on it doesn't help us here because it didn't really teach us anything. And the board itself,
Nice
you know,
shot.
it's creating this 1350 megahertz lock. You look at the board, all the board components look fine. So this is probably either a lower level issue that we can't see, like in silicon or something, but that seems unlikely, and or a BIOS issue, and that seems likely because last time it was a BIOS issue, and flashing this would almost certainly fix it. But we are going to leave this one defective so that we can help NVIDIA try and troubleshoot it, because I'm very curious what the problem is. I know they are as well. The engineers there, the position they're in, because you make of video cards, and then there are two that I happen to get that get stuck at 1350, and one of them wasn't even mine to begin with. It was a viewer's. We just ended up with it. So it's not an issue with our test setup either, because like there was a third party involved that sent it to us, and yeah, we can respect the difficulty of making that many millions of cards and not being able to encounter one in your own controlled environment or lab. So we're going to try and help them out. Maybe they can solve it. It does seem to be a local issue, but if you also encounter this, let us know, because it's hard to know if people are running into this. So post a comment below if you've encountered this on yours. Otherwise, we're still going to be doing SLI testing from point of this video about maybe 16 hours, 12, 16 hours to get a swap from NVIDIA locally. Then we can continue SLI testing. We already have the review for the single card done using this one, which is working without issue. So we're good on that. But anyway, just wanted to show you the problem and show that it's come back. 1350 megahertz lock was not apparently entirely unique to that one EVGA card. NVIDIA is very interested in it. They want to solve it, and so that's good, and I'm going to try and help them out with it. It's a pretty serious problem. I mean, the card is utterly useless otherwise. So you could RMA it, but hopefully it just doesn't happen again. So keep us posted if you run into this with any of your cards, and we'll do the same for you. As always, subscribe for more. Go to store.gamersnexus.net to pick up a shirt, not like the one I'm wearing because it's out of stock. You bought too many of the disappointment shirts. But we're going to refresh this design into a front-only. Or go to patreon.com/gamersnexus and check back for the review of the Titan RTX. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time.
Let's go. Spotted the bomb carrier.
Take me, please.
Let's move out. Laying down smoke. Status. Deploying flashbang.
У меня КС-ка свернулась. Kick me, please.
Let's go, people. Flashbang.
Na horyzoncie gdzieś jawi się kolejna część sagi The Elder Scrolls, choć prawda jest taka, że nie pojawi się ona za prędko, a Skyrim ma już swoje lata, 7 dokładniej mówiąc. Nie zmienia to jednak faktu, że środowisko moderów gry ma się dobrze i największy dotychczas RPG fantasy od Bethesdy rośnie wraz z każdym upustem kreatywności fanów. Nexus pęka w szwach od nowych elementów uzbrojenia, questów czy kompanów. Ba, ambitniejsi moderzy nie tylko dodają kolejne elementy zagęszczające roślinność czy podnoszące populację całego Tamriel. Ci starają się zmieniać znaną nam dotychczas rozgrywkę, aplikując elementy survivalu czy alternatywnej fabuły. Steam Workshop pozwala na bardzo łatwą implementację kolejnych modyfikacji, więc może spróbujemy dobić do tych mitycznych 255. To zadanie na dziś.
Throwing flashbang.
Po kilkunastu godzinach testowania, dobierania i eliminowania rozszerzeń, w końcu udało mi się wpisać w założenia materiału. Zaludnić Tamriel, zmienić początek rozgrywki i bez dodatkowych instalacji poprawić grafikę. Pozornie się udało. Początkowe testy pozwoliły na nieco bardziej rozbudowaną kreację postaci, wybór znaku zodiakalnego, datę urodzenia czy nawet wymarzonej klasy. Bohater miał dynamicznie obrastać we włosy, a ja miałem odwiedzać fryzjera. To wszystko tylko na papierze. I nawet jeśli coś działa za pierwszym razem, to mam złą wiadomość. Zazwyczaj za drugim już nie działa.
Сзади собака.
Zagęszczona roślinność nadpisuje się, tworząc błędy, które wyrzucą was z rozgrywki tylko w niektórych fragmentach. Validował z
Odbierzcie moje dyfuzory.
do takich szaleństw jak ten
O,
epileptyczny
ty. Sebaki, please, sebaki.
bo tak gra czasem działa, czasem nie. Wszystko zależy od woli silnika. To możemy utknąć w limbo wczytywania.
Давай, давай. Окей, кикайте его, пацаны.
Ты сам можешь предложить кик.
А зачем? Уже сколько
просто
тебе
надоело.
предложить кино?
Нахер поиграть. Вот мне наших стреляют. А каких наших?
Не испугался.
Ты можешь поставить ники, чтобы были слышать. Конечно,
Это
своих не
не-
противно.
Po kilkunastu godzinach testowania, dobierania i eliminowania rozszerzeń, w końcu udało mi się wpisać w założenia materiału. Zaludnić Tamriel, zmienić początek rozgrywki i bez dodatkowych poza-steamowych instalacji poprawić grafikę. Pozornie się udało. Początkowe testy pozwoliły na nieco bardziej rozbudowaną kreację postaci, wybór znaku zodiakalnego, datę urodzenia czy nawet wymarzonej klasy. Bohater miał dynamicznie obrastać we włosy, a ja miałem odwiedzać fryzjera. Niestety to wszystko tylko na papierze. I na...
Купите кто-то гигу у меня, пожалуйста.
Я тоже АВП купил.
Блин. Купите гигу кто-то, пожалуйста.
Let's go.
Фак. Ждем, когда ниши зашел.
Что, ребят, читают?
Фок.
Nawet jeśli coś działa za pierwszym razem, to mam złą wiadomość. Zazwyczaj za drugim już nie działa. Zagęszczona roślinność nadpisuje się wzajemnie, tworząc błędy, które wyrzucą was z rozgrywki tylko w niektórych fragmentach gry, a podbity kontrast będzie kolidował z saturacją, prowadząc do takich szaleństw jak ten epileptyczny system rozbłysków. Niekiedy, gdy uda się wszystko uruchomić, bo tak gra czasem działa, czasem nie, wszystko zależy od woli silnika, to możemy utknąć w limbo wczytywania. Nawet potencjalnie otwarte miasta
Давайте кикаем, алё. О. Лезь. Давай, выходи. Убивай.
Меня еще сквозь стену убили, вообще зашибись.
Будущий убиватор.
Ты же в курсах, то что КС стало бесплатно, теперь
Да,
читеров
я
вообще
знаю.
размножат.
Создал аккаунт, начал опять.
Что, бесплатный? Серьезно?
Да, она недавно не... Когда это обнова была? Не помню уже.
Недели 3 назад.
Да, это.
И что, прям вот, то есть она бесплатная, да? Платить не надо теперь?
Да. Ну, если ты не заплатил, то у тебя премиум аккаунт.
И что, вы реально
Да.
сарказма не почувствовали в моих словах?
Ну, как сказать, я-то не на софтах, я-то нормально, я просто играю. Если бы я сейчас играл бы на софтах, это было бы...
Питер играть.
Думаю, всем остальным хочется.
А чё, если мы сейчас все кикнемся?
И господи, кто голосует против?
Пацаны,
Нет,
не
если-
берите бота. Пацаны, не берите бота, тоже я возьму.
А что,
Не
если
берите
меня
бота.
кикнут, то на меня же никакого там штрафа не
Нет,
наложат,
не
да?
дадут, нет. Все только много
Давайте
раз за
просто-
день кикнут.
Я понял, давайте просто друг друга кикнем тогда и все.
Да кто-то нажимает F2 постоянно. Я хочу кикнуть на F2. Кто F2 нажимает, алё? Тупорылый бот. Не берите бота, пацаны, ПЖ.
Да его убили, успокойся.
А, уже все? Не сдох. Ой, ладно. Как бесит они меня уже. Просто.
Йоу! Что случилось? Кто-то этот читы выключил, что ли?
Возможно, но частично. Купите дигл, пожа. О, спасибо.
О,
Вот, иди.
с двумя ходить.
Два жестко. Ладно.
Не рашьте, стойте позади.
У меня двое. Вторая.
Господи, просто два молота. Как он не сгорел?
Niewymagające loadingów między lokacjami zaczęły zgrzytać dopiero po czasie. Warto więc z każdym modem przejść właściwie całą mapę. Tylko kto ma na to czas? I wtedy przypomniałem sobie słowa Gambriego. Nie zawiodę cię. Na szczęście tu z pomocą przychodzą paczki od osób znających się na grzebaniu wewnątrz samych modyfikacji. Omijają oni bez większych problemów te błędy, które potencjalnie rujnują grę i sprawiają największe krasze silnika, a także są w stanie przeskoczyć limit 255
Если бы я врубил что-то, это было бы как-то вот так вот было бы.
Лакалут. У меня. Пацаны, двое у меня.
Здесь еще идут.
Воу, ты шо? Задолбали. Сейвите бомбу, сейв бомбу. Засейвим мою авапу. Ой, не мою авапу. Сейви.
На Б стоит.
Отыграемся. Мне тупо один килл не засчитало в голову. Пацаны, бомбу чекайте. Пищу скуя какой-то, блин. Где ты лазишь? Мы выиграли, короче. Только не просто я в ППЖ. Где-то лазит, блин, по мусорникам. О, наби, пацаны, походу.
Не походу, а так и есть.
Да? О, да, есть, слышно. Да.
Что?
Rush, please. Rush, time.
Ну всё, ГГ.
Диффюзинг тут.
Gerencji poprzez łączenie pluginów. Jako ciekawostkę dodam, że ta powtarzana już liczba 255 wynika z kodu dwóch liczb hex, z których pierwsza jest tą indeksującą.
На, все.
F1 нажимаете.
Да блин, чё
Да
бот
господи, он же за... Нормально выйти не дает.
Grupy testerów zaznajomieni z kodem i kierujący się zasadą nieniszczenia świata gry, to jest dodawania elementów psujących przyjęty przez pierwowzór lore. Połączyłem kilka paczek, tak by Skyrim tylko u podstaw silnika, zdecydowanie nieprzystosowanego do takiego grzebania w kodzie, przypominał swoje dawne oblicze. Bez zbytniego komplikowania dobiłem do przeszło 350 pluginów i podmian i od tej pory Skyrim przestał być tym bladym RPG.
Группе 97, пипец.
Smoke. Throwing flashbang. Status. Incendiary out. has been planted.
Nawet mechaniki uległy zmianom. Całość naszej przygody rozpoczynamy więc w lochu. Jest to swego rodzaju hub pozwalający na podjęcie kolejnych kroków w naszej, jakby się nie przechwalać, ekscytującej przygodzie. Zaawansowany system kreacji postaci teraz pozwala na zupełnie nowe wpływy na sylwetkę, ale i nawet minę naszej postaci. Od nowo dodanych fryzur przez dostosowywanie kolorów nie na podstawie presetów, a doboru palety pozwoli nam więc na wykreowanie
Check in. Sniper, sniper. Bomb has been planted. Terrorists win. Let us go. Check in. At their landing zone. Let's go! Let's go! What's happening? Take care of yourself. What are you doing? Middle. Let's go, my brother. Throwing fire. Decoy is out. Throwing a decoy. What do you see? I'm blind. They shall regret this day. At the middle. Ah! I need...
Dowolnej postaci. Nie bawiłem się jednak w rozszerzanie wachlarza ras podstawowych. Po nadaniu imienia ruszamy do posągu, który na podstawie naszej decyzji przygotuje nam start przygody. Możemy zacząć jako uczeń nekromanty, właściciel ziemi w jednym z większych miast, czy nawet ochroniarz gospody. Oczywiście pozostaje także opcja rozegrania klasycznego intro z gry, ale któż by się na to pokusił, gdy bez problemu możemy wylosować na przykład bycie pozostawionym na śmierć gdzieś w śnieżnych górach. No brzmi jak zabawa. Ale skoro o zimnie mowa, to pora przygotować się na warunki pogodowe, gdyż zaimplementowany system zmusi nas do ubierania się cieplej, gdy akurat wieje zimny wiatr. Postać od tej pory czuje temperaturę, wilgotność powietrza, ale i rodem z klasycznych survivali poziom głodu czy napojenia. Musimy więc nastawić się na nieco łowiectwa wśród całego wachlarza nowych zwierząt rozsianych po całym Tamriel i zacząć gromadzić tak futra, jak i przepisy na dziczyznę. W ramach napitku zawsze pozostaje jeszcze lokalna sadzawka, ale kto wie, jakie syfy możemy złapać z rzeczki, w której przed chwilą stopy mył gigant, prawda? Ale cóż mi zaszkodzi nie spać kilka nocy, olać całkowicie kwestie żywnościowe czy wyziębić się, gdy w pobliżu wyją wilcy. A no tak się składa, że głównym rdzeniem rozgrywki jest tutaj system żywcem wyciągnięty z roguelike'owych gier. Każda nasza śmierć, czy to spowodowana sprzeczką z przemierzającym trakty złodziejem, czy nieudanym polowaniem na masywnego łosia, poskutkuje pobraniem opłaty wprost proporcjonalnej do naszej próby. Jednak po trzecim niepowodzeniu pożegnamy się z naszym bohaterem już na zawsze. Trafi on do Halisław, gdzie będziemy mogli zaledwie podziwiać jego nagrobek. W takim obliczu spraw każda potyczka z silniejszym przeciwnikiem może zakończyć naszą przygodę o wiele za szybko. Zapuściłeś się na bagna i dopadły cię nowo dodane bestie? A może postanowiłeś samemu udać się na polowanie i pomiędzy tymi małymi wilkami, bo tak, od teraz zwierzęta mogą być też młodsze, stał dorosły osobnik, który jednym sprytnym ruchem pozbawił cię resztek zdrowia. Z drugiej strony, za sprawą nowego AI przeciwników, zarówno zwierzyna, jak i humanoidalni wrogowie mogą zrozumieć, że nie mają z tobą szans i najzwyczajniej wykonać taktyczny odwrót. System ten pozwala również formować się większym grupom, a to w połączeniu z wędrownymi banitami stanowi kolejne zagrożenie. Zmuszeni jesteśmy zatem dopasowywać się do warunków, gromadzić doświadczenie wykonując questy, walcząc z pomniejszymi potworami, czy skupić się na łowiectwie, rozbijając swój obóz gdzieś na pustkowiach. Do tego cała lista pomniejszych mechanik usprawniających czy to detekcję podczas skradania, możliwość noszenia przy sobie latarni w te ciemne, acz piękne noce, a nawet szczegóły takie jak zupełnie nowe podpowiedzi przy ekranach ładowania, zapisane nieco bardziej klimatycznym fontem. Wiele zależy też od naszego planowania czasu, bowiem każda czynność pobiera nam trochę życia. Nie że hapeków, po prostu życie nam mija. Czy skórujemy, czy wykuwamy sztylet, czas mija, a my musimy zadbać o wypoczynek, by nie mieć minusowych statystyk sięgających nawet poprawionych i nieco bardziej realistycznych udźwigów. W razie gdyby jednak nie było nam po drodze do gospody, na mapie pojawiać się będą wędrowcy podobni do nas, jak i kilka nowych budynków gotowych, by zdrzemnąć się w nich w gorszą pogodę. Czasem nawet zdarzy się, że ktoś zechce nam pomóc w tych trudnych czasach. Przynajmniej od kiedy zainstalowaliśmy modyfikację. W ten oto sposób udało mi się uciec z gildii złodziei, ale o tym za moment. W całej tej plątaninie systemów survivalowych czy bojowych znalazło się też trochę miejsca dla znudzonych klasycznymi questami z oryginalnej wersji. Nie tylko za pośrednictwem modów możemy dołączyć do nowych frakcji, takich jak Gladiator, ale i rozegrać kilka najlepiej ocenianych questów, wspieranych nawet od premiery oryginału. Czeka nas zatem wycieczka do krainy Khajiitów, wydryczna przygoda czy śledzenie ścieżki słynnego zabójcy gigantów. Do tego przeciętnej trudności starcia ze smokami nie tylko stanowią prawie ostateczne wyzwanie dla gracza, ale i potrafią nagrodzić nas niezłym lootem. Swoją drogą, nawet przeglądając torby, nie znajdziemy w nich tego samego. Loot jest w miarę randomowy. No i o elementach graficznych nie wspominając, bo praktycznie każda tekstura została tu podmieniona na nową o wysokiej rozdzielczości. Światło doszlifowano tak, by tworzyły wyjątkowe obrazki, nawet podczas wizyty przy ognisku. Odciski stóp w śniegu, efekty cząsteczkowe pokazujące przelatujący w powietrzu kurz przy dobrym rozświetleniu, czy nawet rozbryzgi krwi osiadające nie tylko na ekranie, ale i na naszych ubraniach. Dodajmy do tego podmienione modele postaci, tak by korzystały z dodanych fryzur, czy w końcu zaludnienie niektórych miast, czy to nieco mniej kanciastymi mieszkańcami, czy zwierzętami wszelkiej maści. Bagna posiadają swoje charakterystyczne mgły, a nieco pozbawione detali czy charakteru miasta otrzymały więcej modeli roślin lub innych pozornie nieprzydatnych elementów. Całość oczywiście służy głównie wprowadzeniu powiewu świeżości, ale i czerpania wrażeń estetycznych z przemierzania znajomych czasem do bólu krain, który przywołujemy osobnym klawiszem, a no i możemy zawsze zdjąć hełm jednym przyciskiem, by nie marnować godzin spędzonych w kreatorze postaci. No ale jak właściwie się w to gra? Moja przygoda zaczęła się od zupełnie losowego startu i hipotermii związanej z tym, że pływałem w wodzie podczas kiedy padał śnieg. Spotkałem na drodze do miasta, zaś mało kreatywnie nazwany Nord Ragnar został pożarty żywcem po miłej pogawędce z lokalnymi łowczymi. Rudowłosy Khajiit zwany Rudim Schubertem padł ofiarą ciosu toporem. Swoje przyzwyczajenia zacząłem zmieniać dopiero zaczynając jako członek gildii złodziei. Uważałem na wrogów, a gdy robiło się zbyt groźnie, cudem natrafiłem na jednego z nowo dodanych towarzyszy, nieumarłego maga o nieco twardym charakterze.
Why do you disturb me, mortal? I've nothing to discuss with you.
To on uratował mi skórę. Ostatecznie najdłużej grałem wampirem o imieniu Brody. Ten nie musiał martwić się o głód, przynajmniej ten, który dotyka nas. Od czasu do czasu tylko napoiłem się krwią z losowego truchła i bez większych przeszkód zwiedzałem krainy. Można go nazwać trybem easy w całym tym galimatiasie mechanik. Co ciekawe, bardzo szybko przestał on przypominać pianistę, a raczej Raziela z serii Legacy of Kain. Chociaż może to moje wrażenie. Podsumowując całe te kilkudniowe starania, by odmienić Skyrim nie do poznania, modowanie lub raczej dobór mogących spokojnie współegzystować pluginów, mieszanie ich, łączenie w jedno, by wszystko nie rozleciało się, gdy tylko odpalimy grę przez osobny launcher, to cholernie mozolna praca. Dodajmy do tego silnik, który niezwykle obciążany jest przez shadery oraz kolejne linijki kodu do przetworzenia. I wyjdzie na to, że bez potężnego sprzętu większość lokacji zaskoczy nas nie pięknymi widokami, a potężnymi spadkami klatek. No ale nie oszukujmy się, ze starego, dobrego Elder Scrolls, które przypominam ma już prawie 8 lat na karku, można wycisnąć jeszcze sporo grywalności i przyznam szczerze, że po kilkuset godzinach spędzonych w niezmodowanej wersji chętnie spędzę jeszcze kilka, starając się nie uśmiercić swojego bohatera w pierwszych 20 minutach rozgrywki. Ciężko też wymienić wszystkie zaimplementowane rozszerzenia, bo jest ich tutaj tona. Od zmiany dźwięków oraz muzyki na bardziej klimatyczną, przez cały zestaw czarów, do sterowania sojusznikami, aż po easter eggi Shiogorata, wkradającego się w ekrany ładowania, czy nowe zbroje znane z poprzednich odsłon. Całość jakimś cudem współgra. Całość jakimś cudem jest grywalna, więc tak, da się stworzyć paczkę ogromnych rozmiarów, która będzie działała. Dodam, że Skyrim spuchł o jakieś 40 giga po całej zabawie. A jaka jest wasza ulubiona modyfikacja do Skyrima? Dajcie znać w komentarzach, a ja lecę grać swoim ulubionym wampirem.
Let's move out. Ah, piss. Let's go, let's go! Grab your gear and let's go.
Have any of you guys ever had an assassination plot, a public assassination plot put against you?
Moving!
Oh, it looks like I've interrupted your montage again. So sorry about that. But this is a serious video, guys. And this is a video that I've actually wanted to cover for a very long time. There's a couple of reasons why I haven't, and you'll probably see why during the course of this video, because it's difficult to get into this discussion without throwing blame around and without sort of, you know, the ugly heads of nationalism and racism and all of this stuff kind of rearing themselves. And I'm going to try and keep it as succinct as possible in order to avoid this kind of thing, because as you guys know, believe it or not, I hate politics and I don't like to bring politics into my videos. So I'm going to try and approach this from a very day-to-day life.
Let's go. Counter-terrorists win. Let's go. Laying down smoke. Throwing a grenade. Lock and load. Throwing fire. Throwing flashbang. Oh crap. Defusing the bomb.
You fucking idiot. Yellow, you fucking idiot.
Go, go, go! Lock and load. Decoys out. Move it, move it! Hey! Smoke. Incendiary out. Let's go, people. Deploying decoy. Incendiary out. Deploying flashbang. Fire in the hole.
A.
Bomb has been planted. I'm defusing. Defusing the bomb. Counter-terrorists win. move. We are going to do this. We will drive them from our land. Terrorists win. I am planting the bomb. Take care of yourself.
One more minute.
Terrorists win.
Go meet, I can get it.
We shall rule the day. I am planting the bomb.
Too low HP.
Terrorists win.
humanist sort of point of view, because it has affected me, and it continues to affect me, and this is serious, so let's just get right into it. There is a public assassination plot against me on the Chinese internet. That's basically the gist of this video. And nobody is saying anything against it, which is also a big part of this video. And I have to just explain to you guys, I'm indoors again. I don't like to do this. I like to shoot out on the streets to show you China, but I need access to my computer to demonstrate and show you guys what I'm talking about. So let me first introduce you to the Serpent ZA tier bar. Now what this is it's like a subreddit. I guess that's the closest thing you could really, yeah, you could say it's like a subreddit. And here what happens is, I didn't create this, by the way. Some random Chinese person created this quite a few years ago now, probably like 5-6 years ago, and it's there to discuss me. And well, let's take a look. There are hundreds, probably thousands of posts. You know, it goes on for pages and pages, but there are just posts about me. Some of them, at least in the beginning, were very positive, because, you know, if you go back into my video history, especially during the first couple of years, or first 5 years I was here in China, of course I'm showing everyone the positive things, because it's true, China has a lot of positives, and I do like to talk about them whenever possible. But you know, you run out of the positive things, you have to start talking about the negative things. It's not that I have suddenly changed my attitude, it's just I don't like to repeat myself, so why do another topic about something that I've already covered? You know what I mean? Anyway, it's besides the point. This is kind of like, I don't know how to explain, like what they believe to be their own private little hater club. And you have to understand that a vast majority of Chinese people out on the streets here, they believe Chinese is too difficult for foreigners to understand. So right here in public, you know, easy to find on the front page of Baidu. Basically, if you search my name, this is one of the first things that comes up. And it's
at the entry point. Decoys out. Sniper.
They go B. Twenty 11 HP. Right to you. If you go to this bomb. 11. He had no HP, bro. Jesus.
What? You're armored, bro. Nice.
Terrorists win.
Please drop gold.
I go long.
Go, go, go. Our mission is simple. Take them out. Throwing flashbang.
Dude! Fucking shit team again.
Let's move out.
Why come on? Hey! Stop following me! Stop following me! Fucking get here!
Throwing fire.
Low, very low.
Let's get this over with. Incendiary! This is it, my friends. Flashbang. Deploying flashbang.
Low HP. Go, 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 go. Yes, 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 yes. Reload.
This is what we trade for.
Пидорас. Кик.
Throwing smoke.
Not only this, we've got Jehu.com's got a similar type of page all about me. And surprise to all of you sort of haters and nationalists that constantly post to these, I see it all and I read it all because, you know, I can read Chinese. Believe it or not, I know a lot of you guys think that my Chinese sucks, but it's not as bad as you might think. I can read a lot of Chinese. And so it's very easy for me to see what's being said. And of course, if there's something too complicated that I can't understand just by reading it, because yeah, my like Chinese when it comes to reading Chinese is not bad, but it's not perfect obviously. So all I need to do is run it through Google Translate or ask my wife who's Chinese or any of my Chinese friends to help me understand something if it seems a little off. So I see exactly what you guys are talking about all the time. And I think you need to realize that this isn't some kind of hidden secret club. And the
Fuck. One HP.
Let's go.
Долбоёб. Ticket. For Fox? For Fox's sake? Пососи.
Throwing fire. Bomb has been planted. Defusing the bomb. Terrorists win.
Ha 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 ha.
Let's go, let's go. I need help over here. Terrorists win. Move it, move it. Deploying flashbang. Watch out, sniper. I need assistance. Deploying flashbang. Throwing a grenade. Counter-terrorists win. Let's go, people. Roger that. Incendiary out.